talking about the value of archetypes, the necessity of archetypes, why they are so important as a music artist, as a performer, as a creative, and actually as an entrepreneur. Knowing who you are is essential. Knowing who you are at an archetypal level means that your art, your message, your brand, and everything is going to be consistent. If you think about, um, if you think about, if you've ever tried to fit in, if you've ever thought, what will my audience think of me? If you've ever worried about, will this work? Will this fly? Will they like it? Well, then you're thinking in the wrong direction, right? You're going this way. Will my audience like me? How am I doing? Will they buy this? When actually it's all primarily about you. Who am I? What am I about? What is my purpose? What do I want to say? And how do I want to impact people? How do I want to be of service to others? What's the impact that I want to have on people? So when you know yourself, you won't second guess so hard. When you know yourself, you understand why you make choices you make. And you're like, I believe in this. I believe in who I am. I know who I am. That's why I wear this hat and this shirt. And because I'm a little late today, I didn't have the time to put on my rings that I've been wearing literally for 24 years and a bracelet. I did not take the time to go grab them because me and time management suck. I'm so horrible at time. But I was in a wonderful meeting right before this, which is why I was a little bit late. That being said, these rings, this bracelet that I have, they are copper, brass. I love them. I love rose gold. I love gold, no problem. But it's a big Ethiopian heavy ring. And there's a picture that I found of myself recently when I was about 15 and I was recording, and I had a big silver ring. It was my silver period, but it was the same big chunky ring on the same third finger. You don't change. In many ways, we really don't change, but we evolve. And knowing who you are, you're like, you all know me for wearing hats because I have been wearing hats. I've had a hat collection since middle school, high school, 20s. And again, like I'd have them and then I'd be like, kind of put them away for a while. And then I'd back to hats and then put them away for a while. And I had an Easter bonnet that was super tall in high school. People made fun of me. Okay, I don't care. I was the artsy lesbian then. I just didn't know I was queer yet. But I'm the same person. And when you know who you are, you can feel confident in the choices you make. And the choices you make will resonate with people. Desmond Child talks about it in his book. Desmond is a brilliant songwriter. You've heard every song he's written, or many of the songs he's written you've heard because they're huge. Livin' La Vida Loca, She Bangs, Angel, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Kiss songs, Bon Jovi songs, Aerosmith, like huge. And he talks about it in his book, and he says, I'm very good at understanding the archetype of the artist that I'm working with, so that when we're writing the lyric and the story, and they're going to stand up on stage, their audience will resonate with it and believe it because it's their truth. If you've ever tried to fit in, you are literally doing the opposite. The wanting to belong makes you try to fit in, which makes you go against yourself. Instead, be true to who you are and build a world that other people can join. Let people join your artistic world. That's the artist's job. And then why do you bring them into your world? To have an impact on them, to have a positive emotional impact. And whatever that impact is up to you. Rage Against the Machine has a certain impact. Daft Punk has a different one. What's your impact? How do you want to affect people? That's up to you. Chocolate Edis, thank you. That's very kind. He's worthy of being a fan too. Edis is wonderful. Stephanie, I appreciate that you love my work. I'm glad that it impacts you positively. Check out the Compass Academy. Check out Compass, my 6-month artist development program for pros. The doors are open now. Apply. If you want to work with me, apply for that. If you're not pro or at that level yet, check out the Compass Academy. Check out all the other programs that I have. They are all the things that I teach and work one-on-one with people, available to you to access, to help you find your sound, expand your vocals, build your confidence, and listen to your inner vision. I am here to be of service. Let's talk about that. What is one of my primary archetypes? Coach, sage, mentor. Duh! Right? When I started working when I was 8 years old as a performer, professionally working as an artist. I was pursuing being a recording artist. I started coaching casually at 19 to my friends in college. And at 20, my voice teacher invited me to be a coach. That's when I officially started teaching. I was 20 years old. And I found out so quickly, I love this. I love empowering people. I love helping people avoid the pitfalls that I experienced, the pains of being an artist that I experienced. And that's what I'm still doing, empowering so that you do you, helping you not hit some of the things that I hit. And that still happen. Like so many of the same industry situations or problems will come up for artists still. And we don't want that. So archetype, sage, teacher, totally. Like primary right here. So clear. And knowing that allows me to step into my power doing that, feel confident in coaching. It also means that sometimes I open my big mouth and offer unsolicited advice because I can't help myself. And I will often say it to a total stranger. I'll be like, I know you didn't ask me this, but if I can be of service to you, if I can, if you might consider, and then I, offer some information or wisdom that I have on the subject that I see them struggling with. I offer it not because I'm right. I offer it because I can't help myself. It's like how I'm designed to work, right? And I offer it with the intention of empowering somebody. So go play with your archetypes. Let me give you some details about them. You have 12. There are like over 80 something to go look at, okay? But you have 12. All of us, all humans, have 4 that we share. We all have a child archetype. There are different kinds of child, so go find your specific one, okay? Enchanted child, magic child, enchanted child who looks at the world and goes, there are fairies in the world. Yes, I do believe so. I see them and I'm awed by the world. I actually stop to smell flowers. I pause and go, look how beautiful that is. I'm awed by the wonder of the world. That is the enchanted child. That's me. Then we all share a victim. I do not like this side of me. I don't like when I lean into the victim, but each one has a shadow and a light side, 2 sides of a coin, right? So we're meant to overcome the troubling side or the I won't say negative side, but the shadow side to work on the side that's powerful, right? Like if you're not the victim, you take responsibility and ownership, you're empowered. But we all have a victim archetype. We all have a saboteur archetype, and we all have a prostitute. And the prostitute is, where do you sell yourself short? The prostitute is, where have I crossed the line, where my integrity is. I let someone cross the line of my integrity. So it's going to show me where my boundaries are. It's going to show me where my values are. It's going to help me. Honor myself, right? So that's what that one's for. Now, those are the 4 we all share. And then you have 8 individual to you, right? Now, if you are an artist, probably artist is one of your archetypes. And then you got to look at the individual ones, right? So where do we look at archetypes? Greek gods and goddesses, Roman gods and goddesses, Carl Jung, Carolyn Myss, M-Y-S-S. I'm going to put that here for you. Carolyn has a book called Sacred Contracts. It's in my bookshop, which is in my actually I can put a link here. It's a phenomenal book to help you really discover what are my archetypes. And the book itself will help you go all the way to what is my purpose. Based on your archetypes, what is my purpose? If you're an artist and you're aware of what your purpose is, you need to just start breaking down your details of your archetypes to understand, well, how does this archetype help me? It's going to help you. Oh, sorry, let me put this in the comments here. I'm putting it in my IG comment. Okay, so archetypes. When you know your archetypes, it's going to help you identify and clarify your look, your themes in your music videos, your social media content. Because, for example, distinctively, I am very bohemian chic, not hippie. Now, those aren't archetypes, but a little bit. A hippie is a type of archetype. But as a descriptor, knowing that, I can look at something and say, yeah, that's too frou-frou for me. It's too on the hippie side. It needs to be more, and I can show you visuals, but it needs to be more elegant, which could be the executive or could be royal regal. Those are a couple of archetypes. Are you a jester? Are you the class clown? That's the jester. Go look up the jester. This plays out in your social media content. This plays out in the sides of you that you share with your audience to take them on this emotional journey and on this ride that you take your audience on. When you have your 12, 3 are going to be your brand. 3 are what you primarily highlight, magnify for your audience. The others will pop out here and there. Maybe there's a music video where you're like, ooh, this one really should kind of take the lead in this. They'll pop out here and there, but some of them are for your private life. Some of them are going to be more subtle in the work because you're not shutting yourself down when you highlight 3, right? Imagine playing a role in a film. If you're playing the villain, you're going to turn up the jealousy, turn up the mean girl, turn up the malicious. But a really good villain in a film will also have maybe the compassionate crusader, and they're like, oh, they're a vegan and they love animals. And so now you're like, wait, I kind of like this. Wait, why do I like this villain, right? Because there's sides to them that make them human and give you compassion for them. So a one-dimensional villain is not very interesting. So you as an artist, when you're layering these 3, let's say hero is a primary one, or lover, let's put these 3, hero, lover, jester. Those are your 3. Can you already imagine what some of the visuals might look like and the storytelling would look like for someone who's the hero of the story, the lover of the story, and the jester? George Clooney, Cary Grant, they have the jester, right? They're often the hero, the dandy, the leading man, but they're also silly. They're also funny. They don't take themselves so seriously. And that's the layer that makes George Clooney or Cary Grant really interesting to watch, right? They're not Tom Cruise, Denzel Washington has a more they have a more domineering. They have that King Zeus, like I'm right, I'm the authority. Sometimes I'm the underdog, but I'm actually the one who's the righteous one. They have that energy. And so you can see the roles they choose to play. You can see how they play those roles. As a music artist, let's just look at these 3 again: hero, jester, lover. You're going to tell music video stories that show romance, that show partnership and relationship, that get sexy, that show that he's not going to be the victim, right? The hero is not going to be the victim. He's going to be the heroic one in there. And then the jester might be that he's silly or he's goofy, or there's a little bit of humble humor there. If we look at Lil Nas X, he has the jester, right? Everything he does, there's humor in there, there's comedy in there, there's queer in there, there's spiritual in there. He's a crusader and a rebel, right? He's also a warrior. He literally showed up to the Met Gala as a knight in shining armor. Warrior, spiritual quest, both of those things. In his music video, he's wearing a hot pink crop top football uniform. Queer, warrior. So you may not as a fan, the fans don't go, oh, he's a warrior. But what you get is the consistency in the storytelling, the consistency of his character that we resonate with. We go, oh, I love this guy. I love what he's doing. And he's so funny. And because that happens consistently, we believe in this person. We get them, we resonate. and we're going with the flow of this person because the truth is there and it's there all the time. So one artist, for example, in my Compass program, we were looking at their visuals and we were looking at the next 3 songs they want to do in their music videos. And we were looking at the visuals and I started to see some symbolism like, okay, you have this, and this that are constant symbols in what you're doing. That could become merchandise. That could become part of the logo. And then also, let's say this video, one of those symbols is taking the main stage. That's the main symbol of that video. Well, the other 2 symbols should be there a little bit, right? Like maybe they're just a prop in the background or they can be there subtly. And then the second video, the second symbol is the main character and the other 2 take secondary roles, back burner. The third video, third symbol, main character. The other 2 are subtly there. So now you are consistently giving that symbolism and telling that story, but each story is also different. Each music video is specific, but all consistent storytelling. And this kind of information helps you really understand, like, lyrically what you want to say in your songs and your story. And oh, this album now, maybe this album is a whole concept album around this archetype and this storytelling. It's going to affect your costuming. It's going to affect the content, your social media content. Oh, okay. Again, if we look at my social media, being a coach, you can see a lot of my content is about empowering you with information, sharing ways to help you be a more authentic artist, vocal coaching, technique, artistry, emotional connection, branding. That's one of the main things I do in sharing, right? And then I also share stories about things that I've worked with artists in different ways and tell you those stories as an inspiration and another way of coaching and also to let you know me. So, any questions, y'all? Y'all are in here. Send me some questions. But this is why archetypes are important. They really help you dial in. I'm just looking to see if there's any questions here. Hey, Elavas, nice to see you. So when you think about like how did Brat get Brat and this green color, it wasn't just a color choice. For it to really work and resonate and be that strong, it has to have depth. Shiny marketing is shiny and shallow. But when you feel depth and you're curious about something, you're like, oh, wow, I want to know more about this artist. I want to listen to more of their music. I want to check them out. When there's depth that makes you curious, it's because there's depth in their intention, purpose, clarity, archetype. There's layers. And that's what you're curious about, that desire to dive in more. It's not just a cool color. A color is going to come from that archetype, that your color is going to come from a deeper place. Yeah. And knowing your archetype is going to help you know when something's hot, warm, and cold, right? You're like, that's cold. Hot is over here. And then you're going to have the language and the ability to bring things into the hot and into the hot and into the hot consistently because you know where it is. Really, really important. Greek gods and goddesses, Roman gods and goddesses, Mexican gods and goddesses, Hindu gods and goddesses. Go to a culture that you're connected to or where, I mean, right now, I know some of you are having your mind thinking, oh yeah, I remember that Persephone or Zeus. Like there's some god or goddess that you're thinking about that I don't even remember from high school mythology, right? But there's a reason why you're thinking of it and you remember it and it made an impression. Artemis, primary archetype here, Artemis. So looking at those are a way to find them. Looking at Carl Jung and looking at Carolyn Mace, who's got a glossary on her website of about 86 and her wonderful, wonderful book, Sacred Contracts. And where you'll start is you might write down 20 archetypes that you're like, I relate to all of these. And then you're going to whittle it down to your 12. And you got to remember, it's not who you wish you were and who you want to be. It's who you are. This is me. When I read this archetype, when I go into it, this is really who I am. This is how I walk in the world. This is how I live in the world. And then you want to look at how you can weave this into your art. If you want to know more about this, number one, my Navigator course, which is a taste of Compass. It's on my website. I'll actually give you the link, so don't forget to do that. It goes into archetypes and more. It's a great way to like start honing in on like the questions that will help you get deeper into your brand. So that's Navigator. And if you are a pro and emerging artist, and this really resonates with you, my 6-month artist development program starts July 2nd is our welcome meeting. July 16th is our first session, and it is a 6-month deep dive into who are you, and let me help you see yourself and build your world to invite your audience into. And we do this as an intimate group of really phenomenal artists. We do it together. You do it with me. We have industry mentors every month. Check it out. We're in early registration right now. If that interests you and you're like, I'm ready to level up, I'm ready to really build a world, to know myself at this level, at a deeper level, or I know myself, but where's my next motivation? What am I doing for this next project? How can I get more specific? Then that's what Compass is for you. I hope this was super interesting. Awesome, Lori, I'm glad you're enjoying that. Awesome, legend. Keep building your audience. I love that. If this interests you, DM me, ask me questions, check out Compass, check out Navigator. It's just really key. The more you know yourself, the more you curate your world, that it's fulfilling to you. You know where to say no and where to say yes. And now you're building a life and a daily experience that you're like, I like my life. I like the way I'm spending my time. I like how I'm living in my own skin. And your art will reflect that. Your art is an expression of you. So when you are clear about you, your art is more clear. It's going to be your best art ever. And then keep going with that, right? As you evolve and you know yourself and you evolve, you keep sharing it more deeply and differently and taking risks. But it just becomes so much more your confidence, your clarity, your ability to communicate it so that what you are producing, what others are helping you produce, really hit the bullseye and are on the dartboard of who you are, because you're able to show people who you are and communicate it with them. And now they're like, they're coming up with ideas that are so you, and like, you're not going, but that doesn't feel right. We don't want any of that doesn't feel right anymore. No, who's got time for that? No time for that. It takes an average of 7 to 10 years to find your voice as an artist. I can help shave some years off of that and save some struggle of, not that you don't need struggle, because we need struggle to grow, but just wasting time, wandering and wasting time. I can help you hone in sooner and then go struggle with the challenge of bringing it to life. Then that's the fun struggle. All right, y'all. I want to thank you for joining me. DM me with questions. Let me know what other topics you'd like to have. And we're going to have some special guests joining us on Wednesdays for my for this live. We're going to have some guests and artists that I work with coming to join me. So look forward to that too. All right, y'all. See you next week.